This is the scripting that I would use, or something like it, for a fit call. In the fit call, what we want to do is we want to really hit on a couple things. First of all, we want to repeat the idea that we have a sounding board process and that our talking with the prospect is as a result of one of our best clients taking advantage of that sounding board process. The idea here is that we get our business by introduction. So the second thing is we want to make sure that we come away really kind of knowing three things. The first is, do these people have the kind of problems that we solve? Do they have the kind of assets that we want to work with? And are they people that we have chemistry with? So do they have the right attitude? Are they people that we think we can work well with? So those are really the things we're driving to. If we're not feeling that we should be working with these clients for any reason, whether it's assets or attitude or chemistry, whatever the case might be, they don't have the kind of problems that we work with, then ideally we want to be able to refer them somewhere else. So if they are looking for debt reduction or if they're just kind of starting out, we should have a resource book that allows us to refer them somewhere where they're going to get the help they need. Okay. And then of course, if they are somebody that we want to meet with, then we want to be able to describe what the next step in the process is. And of course, that's really just using our fit agenda, fit meeting agenda rather, that you'll find in the Pareto resources for the first meeting. So you might want to get that out and follow along. Okay, so most fit calls are going to be either me reaching out to the prospect or the prospect calling in, whatever the case might be. And so once we've established a little bit of rapport, a little bit of form, try to get some context around where they are and so forth, then what we want to do is really go back to our agenda, which is setting the framing for the call, the sounding board framing for the call. And so what I would do is I would just say, hey, Rob, great to talk to you. I'm glad that you were referred by our friend Bruce. As he may have explained, most of our business comes in by introduction, and we have a sounding board process that we use with our best clients. So our best clients can take advantage of this. If they have somebody that they think could benefit from talking with us, then they kind of have an open door to introduce us. The deal is that we'll be happy to talk to people that are introduced to us and do our best to help them. Now, people who are introduced this way don't have to become a client to take advantage of this sounding board service. So there's no pressure on you to become a client. We're not going to push you to do that. If it's the right thing, okay, great. We can talk about that. But the goal here is to just see how or what we can do to help you. And so if that's okay with you, with that in mind, what I'd like to do is just talk a little bit about what are some of the key issues that drove you to have this call today. What are some of the things that you're looking to accomplish? And when I'm talking to somebody, I'd like to try and find out, like, what are the most important things? Is that you're trying to figure out how to get to retirement? Are you trying to figure out how to work on your estate? Are you trying to figure out how to get your investment philosophy kind of lined up? So let's just stop there and say, what are, from your point of view, what are the couple things that you'd say are the most important things that you're trying to accomplish or get further on as a result of this call? And then of course, you're going to stop and wait and see what it is that they tell you. And, assuming that they're problems that you work with, then we can move to the next step. And so that would be something like, well, that's fantastic. I don't know if Bruce told you, but those really are, the kind of problems, the kind of issues, the kind of things that we help clients with all the time. The second thing I want to try and ask you is, what kind of resources have you put aside to help you achieve these goals? So you may have money in 401ks, you may have an investment account, your real estate, houses, all that kind of stuff. I don't need to know all the details, but if you can give me kind of a ballpark of what you've put aside, that would be fantastic. Okay, then I'd stop again, let them talk, let them tell me what the deal is. And now really I have two really important pieces of information that I want to know before I move forward. Are they trying to accomplish things that we do? And do they have the kind of assets that we work with. If they do, great. Then we want to move them on to the next phase. If they don't, then we want to pull out our resource book and give them some advice on what they want to do next. So assuming that this is somebody that we want to meet with, then the next thing we want to do is pivot to suggest a meeting. And the way I would do that is something like this. Listen, Bob, it's really great that we've had a chance to talk. It seems like the kind of things that you're trying to achieve are the kinds of things that we do for our clients every day. And I think it would make sense for us to get together for a meeting, either by Zoom or in person, whatever is the most comfortable and convenient for us. And what I'd like to do is tell you a little bit about the purpose of that meeting and the agenda for that meeting so you can get an idea. What we found is that when we talk to people about possibly becoming clients, what we want to make sure that we establish before we enter into any kind of a relationship is that it's a good fit. We want to make sure that you feel like we're a good fit for you. And we want to make sure that the things that we do also are a good fit for what you're trying to accomplish. And so our next meeting is what we call a fit meeting. And really, this is an opportunity for us to share information. So, I mean, I can kind of preview the agenda for you. We're going to start out our agenda. We want to talk about the things that most people want to know about us. People who want to become clients of our firm generally want to know who we are, who's on the team, what kind of process we use to help our clients achieve the kind of goals that they want to achieve. They want to know things like, timing, how we invest, how much we charge, how we earn our money. So all these things we'll talk about in this fit meeting so that you can evaluate whether or not you think that what we tell you, what we offer is a good fit for you. And then we're going to dive deeper into the things that you're trying to accomplish. We'll want to learn a lot more about you, your family situation, more detail about what you're trying to accomplish, more detail about resources that you've put aside. We're going to want to learn about your investment experience, your planning experience, your experience with a financial planner if you've had experience before with someone, good or bad. And what we want to do is we want to try and, again, dig as deep as we can so that we can make our own determination about whether or not we think that what we do is a good fit for what you're trying to accomplish. So that's really the only agenda. I would just tell you that we do something a little bit different than most financial planners. In my experience, most financial planners are going to try and, I don't want to say necessarily pressure, but they're going to push to try and get you to sign up with them in that first meeting. We are a little bit different. We have a kind of a little saying here in our firm that we're not trying to be all things to all people. We know we can't. So what we're doing is we've over the years been very selective about who we take on. And what we try and do is we try and be all things to a select group of really good clients. What we found is that, it's a great way to run a business. And so when we think about going into a relationship, or when you think about going into a relationship, what we found is that people make better decisions when they have a little time to think things through. So, when you come in for the meeting, we're not going to be pushing you to do anything. In fact, no decisions are ever made in our first meetings. We've had people come in and say, hey, Bruce told me a lot about you. You're a great guy. He says you're a great guy. I really want to get going. And we're flattered by that. But this is a long-term relationship that we're going to go into. And like I said, we want to just take a step back at the end of the meeting, give ourselves 48 hours. And that works both ways. I mean, we want to make sure you have a little time to think and process what you've learned when you come in, so that if we decide to move forward, if we decide it's a good fit, we're both committed. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for clients who are committed to our process, committed to the way that we do things. And likewise, we want to make sure that we're all in if we take on your situation. We want to make sure that we do everything we possibly can to help you achieve the goals that you want to achieve. So we're going to take a short break. We usually take 48 hours or so. Again, just a quick pause. and then we'll regroup by phone. And if this, if it makes sense, we'll just compare notes. Again, no pressure. If it makes sense, you think it's a good fit, we think it's a good fit, we can move forward. And if not, then, we just go our different directions. And if there's anything else that we can do to help, we'll gladly do it. How does that sound to you? And then we'll just let them confirm that that's okay. And then great. Then you're going to move into the last step, which is letting them know what happens next. So if you're going to set the appointment right then, if you run your own calendar, by all means do that. If you're one of your teammates runs the calendar, then just say, hey, Bob, Mary on my team manages my calendar. I keep messing it up. So we just finally said, hey, that's not something that I should be doing. So Mary's going to reach out, and if it's okay, I can just transfer you right now to her. She's available, and you guys can set a time to come in for a quick meeting. Usually 45 minutes to an hour is what we would require. Does that make sense to you? Again, stop, get permission to move forward. Okay, once we have that, one more thing. You're going to receive from us, Bob, an introduction kit. This is something we send out to all people who are coming in for a meeting with us, so they can learn a little bit about our firm, a little bit about us ahead of time. Again, we just feel like the more you know, the better decisions you're going to make. And that's what we want. I mean, not just this initial decision, which is important, but all the way through our process, we're going to be working with you, getting you the information that you need so that you can make your best decisions. That okay with you? Okay, great. So now we've discovered what they're trying to accomplish. We've learned what kind of assets they have. We've determined that they're a good fit. We've previewed the meeting. We've already previewed how different we are from other advisors by establishing that professional differentiation. We've talked to them about our pause. We've talked to them about our introduction kit, and we've got a meeting scheduled. So that's the fit call. That's the agenda for the fit call and the things that we're trying to accomplish. So yeah, any questions, give me a call. Thanks.